Namaste, friends. This is Elle with Sacred Union Tarot. I know it's been a couple of days since I posted. I think the last message I posted was the full moon in Aquarius on Thursday. And I've done several readings since then, but I decided not to post them because it feels like the purging was the Divine Feminine's anger. There was a lot of anger in the readings, just a lot of... The energy was very angry, and so I decided not to post them. So today is Monday, August 15th, and I am, another reason is that I am traveling. I'm visiting my son, and so you might see some interaction with his dogs and cats. So we'll see what happens. Anyway. A little vacay for me, which is much needed. I think even that came up in the reading for a couple of people, was plan a vacation. So I am on a little vacation, but I wanted to continue doing readings so I can keep connected and bringing messages to you. Whew. All right, so North Node, Mars, Uranus conjunction, and then Lionsgate, and then the full moon in Aquarius. I don't know if the energies kind of swept through you, but it was definitely purging some deep depths. A lot of the residual hostility and anger, even though we felt like we had kind of released all of that, whatever was lingering left. So, the energies feel a lot more stable right now. It's just kind of like, okay, let it settle. All right, so I'm going to be using the Sacred Traveler, Sacred Destiny, and Sacred Forest, all by Denise Linn. The Illuminated Tarot, which you know is one of my favorite decks, the Light Seer Tarot, and the Muse Tarot. So I'm just going to get started. I did pre-shuffle, but I'm going to kind of go through just a quick shuffle one more time, and we'll get started on this reading. And I'll start with the Sacred Traveler. This is a beautiful deck. I love the energy. So let's get started here. I hope you guys are well. Thank you for to all of my subscribers. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting my work. Fogged in. Go slow. Take time. I'm actually going to pull, let's see if you can see that. I think I'm going to pull some cards on that. Yeah, let's use the Light Seers. Fogged in, go slow, take time. It feels like Six of Swords energy, but slow. Like if there was a Six of Swords with Pentacles. Very slow, clearing energy. Five of Cups, clearing of some regret, disappointment, emotional... It feels like emotional lethargy. Just kind of a sadness in saying goodbye. There are changes coming with 5 cards. That means that there are changes. Let me turn on this light. I don't know if it's as bright as here. With 5 of Cups energy, there's changes coming, and there's kind of like a regret that things didn't work out. But you know you need to release them because the Six of Cups is there. And there's the World card, the end of that cycle. So give yourself some time to allow the residual settling of the Great Purge. So give yourself some time. This feels like Divine Masculine energy. Okay, so what I just heard was, this feels like Divine Feminine is like, okay, I'm finally letting go of something that's not serving me. to allow that Six of Cups energy to come in. Remember, we have to release in order for things to have room to come in. But it feels like, too, that this is causing some sort of confusion in the masculine energy. Feels like the Divine Feminine is kind of sad, like, I gotta let you go for right now. And what I'm hearing overwhelmingly, what I'm sensing in the connection is that the Divine Feminine is just like, I've had enough. I've had enough. I've spent so much time, so much energy on this connection, you know, trying to understand it, trying to do my healing work. And, you know, it's just not coming into this fruition state. Even though there's lots happening on the Divine Masculine side behind the scenes that you're not aware of, it feels like Divine Feminine is like, okay, you know what? At some point, I just need to surrender all of this and let go. Ah, there's the Magician. So then we have the Two of Pentacles. And I'm reading Divine Feminine energy because all of these are coming up Divine Feminine. Now that could be the Divine Feminine in the masculine, where he's really regretting, because this is masculine energy to me. This is, it just keeps coming to me as masculine energy. But then there's a lot of feminine energy here, and maybe that's his feminine energy. Okay, I get it now. Sorry. This is the Divine Masculine's feminine energy, realizing the regret here in his emotions, letting go of something, regretting that things have not come to fruition for them, and they're just going to surrender. They're just going to surrender to, you know, they know they have to make some sort of decision or change in their life. And it's a hard decision to make, but they're just like, you know, I just have to do it. I'm just compelled to do it. And so here's this Two of Pentacles, kind of struggling and juggling, but yet in this deck, she's just kind of like, whatever energy. Like, okay, I understand that this is part of this process. And then the Magician comes out, where he starts to manifest from a new energy, recreating his life. Feels like he's recreating his life. Okay, bottom of the deck, the Moon. This feels like that full moon energy. This is kind of what I'm hearing is the domination. The domination of the full moon energy actually brought this to the awareness. And what I'm hearing is to the end. I don't know what that means. But it was like they just surrendered. They just surrendered. All right, let's move forward. Let's pull from the Sacred Forest. That feels like definite masculine energy. So let's see what's going on with the feminine then. Go slow, take time. Very pinnacly energy. So if you're a masculine as an earth sign or has heavy earth in their chart, but it feels like they've been fogged in. You know, this moon illuminated something for them. Something that was hidden. Something below the depths. But the Six of Swords, that Six of Swords, now I know why it's like Six of Swords energy. They couldn't really move forward until the fog lifted. And in order to do that, they had to realize that there's going to be a certain amount of regret and melancholy and emotional purging in order to move into a new cycle. And they literally had to make a decision about rebuilding their life. Okay. So here's Divine Feminine energy. We took quite a few. Thicket of Thorns. It's a 43 card. There's uncertainty. That's what I feel like the Divine Feminine had been feeling, and that's why that anger kind of came through. She had a certain uncertainty, like, you know what, this is just not moving forward. It is, but it's moving forward very slowly. And remember, you know, Divine Feminine has put a lot of energy into her work. Divine Masculine just seems to be starting his storm spirit chaos. And then through that, the miracles. Uncertainty, chaos, and miracles. Okay, so this is a 43 card, which is a 7. This is a 42 card. So it feels like there's some sort of uncertain chaos that has swept in, that kind of brought in that, and I feel like there's a card in this deck called Healing Chaos. It feels like in the chaos, that's what needed to be swept away in the storm. And these are things that really were kind of the word is nexus. Why am I using that? Nexus to the underlying issues of the Divine Feminine's stuckness. And then through this chaos and this uncertainty, through that process, and I feel like that's what happened with this full moon, and that's why it was very hard for me to kind of put out those readings, because that's what this was. And now we're into this really rainbow waterfall, you know, butterfly transformation. Okay, now I can see the miracles. But this had to be released in the Divine Feminines. It was a latent languishing. I love the language Spirit uses. It was a latent languishing, where they Divine Feminine was just at a point where she had done all of this, and you know, she just wasn't seeing evidence of anything moving forward. And then she got to a point where, what's next for me? What's next in my spiritual work? What's next for me? If this, if you're a twin flame, a lot of you were thinking, if this isn't ever going to happen, then what am I supposed to do? And the answer is, do you. Go do what makes you happy. Live your life in the state of bliss. But as these astrological events happen, and all of these cycles as we go through, there is going to be some residual work that needs to be done. And there's some, you know, toxic after effects that need to be released. All right, so this is the Muse Tarot. Yeah. Strength and 8 of Voices. Yeah, see? Exactly what I was saying. 8 of Voices, 8 of Swords energy, where you kind of feel trapped. It's like stuck. I'm just stuck. And it's not, you're trying to outthink the energy instead of going with the flow. And then all of a sudden you're like, you know, I got this. Here's another full moon. So all of this is relevant to this full moon cycle. Whereas, and let's just compare, the full moon in this card, it feels like the Divine Masculine energy was just, you know, surrendering, underwater, overwhelmed, trying to figure out what's going on. And then in the Divine Feminine, she's sitting on top of a lion. And she's like, I got this. I got this. And if you can see here, she has an infinity sign in her hand. And on Divine Masculine, in the Magician card, he has an infinity sign on his hat. So he's busy reconstructing and manifesting his life. Major arcanas here, for the Divine Masculine, the Magician, the Moon, and the World card. The 2 of Pentacles and the 5 of Cups, is he had to release something, and it was a hard emotional decision. It was something that he, you know, was trying to ensure that he was doing the right thing. Divine Feminine has 8 of Voices, the Strength card, which is an 8 card. So she has 2 8s. And here she's looking toward the miracles coming in. Because she really got caught up in this uncertainty and chaos. And then she had to step into her strength. Okay, 2 of Voices came out into the challenge position. This is where she was at this stalemate. This is why she was stuck. And then there's this 8 of Swords, 10 of Swords, 2 of Swords is 10 of Swords. So that was a challenge that she had to overcome in this last lunation. And it feels like with all of those, this is Lionsgate energy. In Leo season, it feels like this is kind of the time that she gets unstuck. Might be some barking. So for Divine Feminine, it's all about being unstuck. For Divine Masculine, it's all about making a very hard emotional decision to end something that, hey, can't get in there. There. Thank you. These 2 cards keep wanting to come out. Page of Inspiration. And this rainbow. Look at that. And then the Queen of Inspiration. How how amazing. Okay, so this is here's another moon, full moon. Look at how they're very similar images. This is igniting her passion for her own life. Coming up with some creative ideas to kind of re-stimulate, reinvigorate herself after feeling with this uncertainty and this chaos. She needed to reinvigorate herself, and that's what happened. Let's see, bottom of the deck. Ooh, the Devil. I just heard The Devil Wears Prada. Is that a movie? There's just something about the devil in this Magician card. There was some toxic energy. There's the 7 of Wands. Yeah. Okay, so Divine Feminine is, I know we're always doing something spiritual to move forward. And we get to a point where we think we've done everything we need to do, but that is never going to be true. There's always more to do. But if you've been feeling recently like there's just a great amount of uncertainty, there's a feeling of finality. There was a feeling of finality with this last week that now we're starting to understand. I don't know if you had really intense dreams, difficulties, night sweats, and just like purging. And it's like this is, okay, I don't want to say this, but I'm gonna, like a spiritual vomit. It's like, okay, you know, I'm dry heaving now. There's nothing left. I want to the toxicity is, we're at the very bottom of that toxicity. And now is this time for these miracles to reinvigorate, reignite. Because I feel like we just got almost, it was lethargic. Okay, let's move on to the connection. This is going to be the Sacred Destiny. This is supposed to be Divine Masculine Monday, but you know, Divine Feminines, I wouldn't do that to you. leave you lingering for a couple of days and not do a check-in. New beginnings. Let's pull from the Illuminated Tarot. I love this deck. I really do. Such good energy. And this is one I have to look up because the cards have a, it's a very different deck. Let's see, what's going on for the connection? Five of Diamonds, Ace of Diamonds. Four of Wands. Ooh, Nine of Spades. King of Spades. All right, so let's take these one at a time and we'll see what they all mean. All right, Five of Diamonds first. The Hierophant. Spiritual authority. Possible deception. From right away, that makes sense to me because this is the Divine Feminine was questioning. Like, is this even friggin' real? Am I deluding myself? Am I deceiving myself? You know, there just is no movement on the Divine Masculine side, and now I'm even questioning whether or not this is a true connection. Have I gone down a rabbit hole of spiritual belief? Let's look at Ace of Diamonds. The World. And then it got to a point where you're just like, I don't care. You know, I don't care. This is part of my journey. Whether or not it feels real anymore does not matter to me. I'm grateful that I've been on this path, that it has helped transform me. But, you know, it's been to a point very dissatisfying in some ways. Then we have the Four of Clubs. This is the Four of Wands, which is stability. It's, to me, twin flame energy. Yeah, so this makes perfect sense. King of Spades is the Emperor, so we have Divine Masculine on the mind of the Divine Feminine. The struggle to make sense of these events, in this twin flame events. That's exactly what this is. So Nine of Spades, Nine of Swords, King of Swords. But in this deck, the King of Swords is the Emperor. The Five is the Hierophant. So you have both Divine Masculine represented here. And the World card here for the connection, and the World card here. And then we have the Eight of Swords for the Divine Feminine with the Nine of Swords. Yeah, she just recycled and recycled and recycled everything that's happened in this connection and trying to make sense of it. And that's where the anger came from. Because we were all in our good, happy place a couple of weeks ago. But then all of these cosmic events kind of brought through all this residual stuff that needed to be distilled out. Okay, that makes sense. Let's pull a few more because this feels like Divine Feminine. I'm hearing too, though, that the Divine Masculine is going through this whole thing too. He's kind of like trying to figure it out. What went wrong? Why, you know, I said some things, did some things, sure, but why would that end? You know, why would she turn away from me? You know, that kind of energy. There's the Three of Diamonds. Admiration. Feels like he admires Divine Feminine. All I know is he's watching. He's watching. And the energy keeps coming up that he wants so much to connect. He just wants so much to say, this is what's going on in my life. I'm sorting things out. Yeah, because there's the Nine of Clubs, the Sun card, clarity, simplicity, and new life. It feels like that's what he wants to say is, this is this new life, this new beginning that I'm creating for myself. I've been trying to figure all of this out, but he feels this, the fogginess about the connection is like, why is this such a powerful feature in my life? I can't seem to work it out. And look at the symbolism here. We have this, sphere. And then if you see the sphere in the trees of this Four of Wands, they're all similar. It feels like this one thought has been captivating him about this connection. And same with Divine Feminine. She's trying to figure out why it hasn't moved forward. He's trying to figure out how to approach her with the fact that he's reconstructing his life, that he's had to make these really tough emotional decisions to end something. And we've seen that in the readings. All right, friends, I think I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to try and do quite a few readings over my little vacation when I have nothing to do, just so I can give some specific messages to those that need to hear them, that are kind of feeling a little lost. I can do personal readings, but these are the decks I have with me, so if you need a personal reading, I do have some time to do it, so just connect with me through the email in the description box. But please know that these are the only decks. Usually I just open it up to whatever decks you have a certain connection with, that really feel that energy when I do readings. But if you would like a personal reading, please know these are all the decks I have. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I hope you have a wonderful day. Please comment if you've been going through the anger process and the purging. Just let me know if that's what you've been experiencing. So, namaste.